Yo YouTube, what's up? It's your boy the Fourth Ken, aka 4, and I got a banger, man. I ain't even gonna say too much. Just stay tuned, man. This guy hasn't gotten a haircut. I haven't cut his hair since January 2020. So add that up. That's 15 months, I believe. No haircut, no shape up, no fade, no taper, no trim, no nothing. He was rocking braids. He said, yo, bro, cut it all off. I graduated today. For those of y'all who don't know, I also graduated last week. So I'm dedicated to YouTube. This is my college. I'm going to YouTube University. For those of y'all who know me, I'm not going to college, but this is gonna be my college, YouTube. So I'm starting off this haircut with a number 4 guard. And the reason why is because he said he wanted some ripples on top. So I'm trying to start him off with some progress. I'm trying to be generous with the hair I leave on the top. So as you guys saw, I combed it all out. That's very important. He did come with his hair freshly washed and prepped, but I still had to lay it down after I cut it down. But this is an insane amount of hair. Like, he had it laid. This client is actually someone who I cut previously on a video a couple years ago. For those of y'all who are OGs on my channel, I think in 2019 I cut him. But yeah, I'm just taking my 4 guard and just taking his hair off, starting from the crown. And the reason why I'm doing this from the crown is so that I don't patch him. The crown is very noticeable because he combed it in that way. And it just makes it easier for me. I get to see what I'm working with. It's satisfying to watch. And it's fun to do for a video. And I'm being careful with his corners because his corners are light. I remembered this from when I previously used to cut him. And we are going to eventually take his hair down just slightly lower, just to, because the length his hair is at right now is a 4, and it's still kind of thick, as you guys can see from this other angle. For those of y'all who don't follow me on Instagram, go check me out. I got fire cuts on there. I post a lot of content on there. I definitely got to be more consistent with YouTube, but I post a lot of content on TikTok, Instagram. Go follow me on that. It's all the Fourth Ken. Everything's the Fourth Ken. So I'm just taking everything else off. So right here is where I take my 2 guard, and I believe the lever is open. I did end up closing it just a little bit. I just wanted to take more down because it looked like it was almost trying to curl up. So this process still left him with ripples, but I wanted to take it down just slightly, just to make it a wave cut, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I don't like when there's the length on top is in between waves and curls. It either has to be one or the other, you know what I'm saying? Unless they're trying to grow it out, and he's not. So this is where I took it a little bit lower. And right here, we're gonna start on our taper. Got my Babyliss. Just grab any pair of liners. They don't even have to be sharp, honestly. These aren't too sharp. Start your guideline. And what I realized I used to do in my older videos, I used to stretch my high tapers. So they would almost look like burst tapers, which I did not like. Looking back, I really cringe at some of my old haircuts. But that's good. That's what you're supposed to do. If you look back and you don't see progress, and you weren't disgusted with your work, are you really progressing? That's something to think about. Right here, I have my lever open, and as you can see, I'm compressing those guidelines. I'm not stretching it. I don't want this to be a burst taper. You want your high tapers to be very compressed. A tiny blend, but just with no C-cup. That's all a high taper is. It's a taper with no C-cup. And under that, I drop down, put my lever halfway, and then I closed it. And I'm using my Babyliss FX. Shout out to my guy Chris Basio for the Tune 45 clips. I really recommend these. 1, they charge fast. 2, they aren't uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? The charging mat is comfortable. You can put your phone on there. You can put the clips. I'm not sponsored, for anybody wondering. I just like the product, honestly. I don't use them for the trimmers though. I don't, because the trimmers honestly charge fast. But the clippers, the Babyliss clippers are always dying. I know you guys can relate. They're always dying. So I needed these. I needed them, so I bought them. Right now I have my one guard with the wall guards. Here I put on my 3 guard, the Babyliss 3, and I'm just debulking that top a little bit. Just clearing the top bulk to compress my taper even more. Here's my 2, and as you can see, I'm not digging in. I'm more so not flicking out either. I'm more so grazing it, like, and I'm not feathering it, but I'm just grazing it, as you can see. Like I'm digging in, but not digging in enough. You know what I'm saying? It's really a technique you have to learn. It comes with experience, but yeah, this is something you do a lot with straight hair, but on textures like this, you're also gonna have to do it. This is my 1.5 guard with the Babyliss guard. I really like this guard. This is probably my favorite guard because it just brings everything together. Now I have my half guard with the Babyliss. And usually I use my Andis 0 guard, but in this case I just decided to use, you know, the standard wall guard just because it made sense. It was simpler. I'm just doing some detail work with this. And my last step to my tapers is to usually just take my no lever, no guard, just flick it out at the bottom, doing some detail work to really separate yourself from, you know, the other barbers. And this is also to get that bottom line that you put in with the liners. Sometimes it's difficult to get that out. Here, this is just more detail work with the one guard. Just grabbing different guards, doing some detail work. I seen some ripples in his hair that I didn't like. Although it's a compressed taper, you still don't want it to just go from light to dark. There has to be a proper contrast, a proper gradiency effect on his hair, on the tapers especially. So that's my steps to a taper. It's pretty simple. I'm just following the same steps for the back, and I'll be back for the shape up. So right here for his front line, we're gonna taper it just slightly, just take it down a little bit with the grain with the number 2 guard. And this is just to more so preserve the hairline so that when he goes home, either showers, starts sweating or just goes outside, his hairline is still in place. Now my camera was out of focus. I apologize. I wasn't really paying attention. The number one thing I've really been working on with my haircuts, or there's two things: symmetry, which I feel like I've gotten incredibly better at, and time. Time is money to me. Time is money. Time should be money to everybody. So this haircut only took me 50 minutes. And my old YouTube videos, especially when I record, I would take 2.5 hours. And if I recorded, even longer than that. Even when I was in the shop getting reps after reps, I was still just taking long. And I realized you really don't have to take long. You can still move fast without rushing or sacrificing quality. But just pay attention to how I'm lining him up. I'm using the angles of his head. I'm angling his head towards me to see if it's symmetrical. That's the key. You don't want to shape them up from the side, because then you won't be able to see if it's straight. You want to turn their head to you so that you can see them from a dead-on angle. Sometimes the client even has angles in his head. Like from this angle right here, his hairline does not look straight. But when he was facing me, it was straight because he has lumps on the side of his head. A lot of your clients are going to have those indentations in their head that from looking from the side, it's going to look crooked. But if you're looking at them in their eyes, the hairline is perfectly straight. And that's what you want to focus on. Right now I'm using my enhancement machine. For those of y'all asking what enhancements I just use the regular, what's it called? The Kiss Express. And the compressor is just a regular joint from Amazon. It was like $200 maybe. It's a cheap little trigger gun, but it works. It gets the job done. It doesn't give me any issues. It used to, but I fixed it. Yeah, we're not spraying too much. Just enough to fill in his light spots before we hit it with the razor. Right here, I got my Easy Blade razor. Use my promo code the4thken for 10% off any products. And as you can see, my blade is tucked, but when I hit it in the corners, when I'm doing his actual front line, I'm gonna expose the blade to get that ash line effect. But for the vertical bars right here, I like to unexpose my blade and tuck it as much as possible to create a skinny ash line, not one that's messy and very bulky. Because you can make a bulky ash line and then you have to wipe it off. If it's thin, precise, that's all you need. But yeah, go check out Easy Blade shaving products. Dope company. I've been working with them for a while now, a couple years. I really love their razors. The razor blades are amazing too. That's underrated, because a lot of companies can have a good razor, but the blade quality, amazing. Right here, we're just gonna finish it off with a freehand trim. You wanna do this with a big transformation haircut, mainly because you're gonna have those flyaway hairs, especially when you cut it down to a not so low length. This is like a 2. That's not super low. So you're gonna have those flyaway hairs. And as you can see, it's all laid. This is the cut. Let me know how you guys enjoyed it. Follow me on Instagram at the4thken. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're like 100 subscribers away from 100K. I appreciate all the support. It's the4thken, and I'm out. Peace.